Alright, so we need to pick two of these and eliminate a variable. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to pick 1 and 3 and eliminate my x's. So I'm going to go 1 and 3, and I'm going to be eliminating x's. So I have x plus y plus z is equal to 6, and my third equation is negative x plus 2y plus 2z is equal to 9. Because one's positive, one's negative, I can just add down. That cancels out. And now I have y plus 2y is 3y plus 1z and 2z are 3z is equal to 15. Because I didn't use 2, I need to use 2. So I have 2x minus y plus 3z is equal to 9. And I still have to eliminate x's, so I'm going to multiply number 1 by a negative 2. I'm still going to get rid of my x's though. So I have negative 2 times x gives me a negative 2x. Then we have negative 2y, negative 2 times z is negative 2z is equal to negative 12. Add down, my x's cancel out. My y's, I have negative y and a negative 2y and a negative 3y. And then I have 3z minus 2z. It gives me plain old z is equal to 9. No, is equal to a negative 3. Alright. So now you use these two to get rid of one of them. So I'm going to bring it over here. So this was what I did, A, B, now I'm at C. So I'm going to go 3y plus 3z is equal to 15. Bring that over, negative 3y plus z is equal to negative 3. Adding down, those cancel, 3z and 1z is 4z is equal to 12. Divide by 4, z is 3. Z is 3, we have to find out what y is. So since it's here, there's a z only, so I'm going to go 3y plus 3z is equal to 15. Plug that 3 in for z, so I have 3y plus 3 times 3 is 15. 3y plus 3 times 3 is 9 is equal to 15. Subtract 9 on both sides, so I have 3y is equal to 15 minus 9 gives me a 6. Y is equal to, divide by 3, 2. So I have y, I have z, I need x. So I have to come back here. So I have x plus y plus z is equal to 6. I don't know what x is. Y is 2 and z is 3. So I have x plus 5 is equal to 6. X is equal to 1. Alright. Next. Looking at here, we can eliminate any variable, try to decide what's the best. I think I'm going to go with, so those are my 3 equations. I think I'm going to use 1 and 3 and get rid of my x's. So I'm going to use 1 and 3 and I'm going to get rid of my x's. So my 1 is 2x minus y plus z is equal to 10. I need this to be a negative 2, so I'm going to multiply it all by a negative 2. So I have negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative and negative is a positive 3y. Negative 4z. And we have negative 2 and 8 is a negative 16. Add down, so I have negative y and 3y is 2y, and z minus 4z is a negative 3z is equal to a negative 6. I used 1 and 3, so I have to use 2. So I have 4x plus 2y minus 3z is equal to 10. And I'm still getting rid of my x's, so I'm going to use number 3. Still going to get rid of my x's, and I'm going to multiply this. I need it to be a negative 4, so I'm going to multiply it all through by a negative 4. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 3, negative is positive 12y. Negative 4 times 2 is a negative 8z. And a negative 4 times 8 is a negative 32. Adding down, x's are gone, so I have 12 and 2 is 14y. Negative and negative, negative 3z and a negative 8z, negative 11z, is equal to a negative 12. Negative 32 plus 10, 22, negative 22. All right. So if I have my things, let's line them up and look at them. So we have 2y minus 3z is equal to a negative 6. And 14y minus 11z is equal to a negative 22. Might as well get rid of my y's. I'm going to multiply this top of I by negative 7. So I have negative 14y, negative is positive, 21z is equal to 6 times my 7 is 42, negative is positive, so 42. 14y minus 11z is equal to a negative 22. Down, that's gone, so I have 10z is equal to 42 minus 22 gives you 20, so z is 2. Z is 2, we have to figure out what y is, so I have 2y minus 3z is equal to a negative 6. 2y minus 3 times 2 equals negative 6. 2y minus 6 equals negative 6. Add 6, so we have 2y is equal to 0, so y is 0. Still have to figure out what x is. You can use any of those three. Trying to see what's the best. The best one probably, yeah, I'll just say this one's by itself, so I'm going to use that one. So I have x minus 3y plus 2z is equal to 8. I know that I don't know what x is. Minus 3 times 0 plus 2 times 2 equals 8. So I have x plus 4 is equal to 8. So x is 4. So our point, final answer for that one is x, y, z. So x is 4, y is 0, z is 2. So 4, 0, 2. And that's right. Alright. Next. Looking at this, I want to see what is the best ones to use. This is 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to use 1 and 2 and get rid of my x's. I'm going to use 1 and 2 and get rid of my x's, and I'm going to multiply through by a negative on the bottom. So I'm going to do a negative. So I have 2x minus y minus 3z is equal to a negative 1. So I'm going to multiply everything by negative. So a negative 2x plus y minus z is equal to 9. X's cancel out, y's cancel out. So I have negative 3z minus z is a negative 4z is equal to 8. So divide by negative 4, z is negative 2. We still need to use and get the bottom two, so we're going to use here. So we have 1 and 2, so I have to use 3. So I have x plus 2y minus 4z is equal to 17. And I want to get rid of x or y, because since they both canceled out, I can get rid of x or y. So I will use, let's see what I want to do. I'll use number 2, and I'll get rid of my y's, and I'll multiply everything by, what do you think I have to multiply by? So I want a negative 2y, and I have a negative y, so I'm going to multiply by a negative 2. So I have negative 2 times 2 gives me a negative 4x. Negative negative is a positive, so positive, oh, I don't want to multiply by that, do I? So 2y. So actually I just want it by a positive 2. Yeah, positive 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 2 times z gives me 2z. And 2 times negative is a negative 18. See what we did. See how we did. So we have x and 4x gives me 5x. My y's cancel out. And here we have our negative 4z and 2z gives me a negative 2z is equal to a negative 1. I need, at this point I can substitute this in here. So I have 5x minus 2 times negative 2 is equal to negative 1. 5x negative negative is positive. 2 times 2 is 4 is equal to a negative 1. Subtract 4. 5x is equal to a negative 5. Divide by 5, x is equal to a negative 1. Now I know I'm going kind of fast, but I'm just making an answer key for tomorrow, and I want to kind of go through all these problems because I know some of you are struggling. So just so you know, kind of pause it, rewatch it, see if you can figure it out, and then ask me questions. So I have x, I have z, I need one of these to solve for y. So I'm going to just do the bottom, x plus 2y minus 4z is equal to 17. So I have negative 1 plus 2y minus 4 times negative 2 is equal to 17. Negative 1 plus 2y, negative negative is positive 8 equals 17. That's a 7. So I have 2y is equal to, subtract 7, 10. So y is equal to, divide by 2, 5. So hopefully our answer should be negative 1, x, y, z. Negative 1, 5, negative 2. And that is right. Alright, backside. Alright, backside, I need to figure out which one I'm going to eliminate. Looking at here, what looks easiest to eliminate? Remember, this is 1, 2, and 3. So I think I'm going to take 1 and 2, but I'm going to put 2 on the top. So I'm going to go 2x plus 3y plus 2z is equal to 2. And then I'm going to get rid of my x's. So I'm going to multiply the first one by a negative 2. So negative 2 times x is a negative 2x. Negative negative is a positive 2y. Negative 2 times z is a negative 2z is equal to a negative 12. And remember, I was trying to get rid of my x's. So x's are gone, 3y and 2y, 5y. And also my z's are gone. So I have 2 and negative 10. 12 is negative 10. Divide by 5. So y is equal to a negative 2. Then I'm going to take my third one, 3x plus 5y plus 4z is equal to 4. And I'm still going to try to get rid of x's. So I'm going to take my first one and multiply it by what to get rid of my x's? Negative 3. So I'm going to take my 1, my first equation, and I'm still getting rid of my x's, and I'm going to multiply it by a negative 3. So I have negative 3 times x, negative 3x. Negative negative is a positive. 3 times y is a 3y. And then we have negative 3 times z is a negative 3z is equal to a negative 18. Adding down, my x's are gone. 5y and 3y is 8y. 4z minus 3z gives me just a plain old z. And 18 and 4, negative 18 plus 4 is a negative 14. I have y and I have this. So what do you think I can do to find out what z is? I'm going to plug it in. So I have 8. Instead of y, I'm going to go negative 2 plus z is equal to negative 14. Negative 16 plus z is equal to negative 14. So z, add 16 to both sides. So z is 2. I have z, I have y, I need x. I'm going to use the top one for x. So x minus y plus z is equal to 6. I don't know what x is, but I know that y is a negative 2. Plus my z is 2 is equal to 6. So I have x, negative negative is positive 2 plus 2 equals 6. X plus 4 equals 6. So therefore x is 2. So my final answer is x, 2, y, negative 2, z, 2. Number 5. What looks to be the easiest to get rid of? I guess I'm going to get rid of my y's. So I'm going to use 1, 2, and 3. I am going to use, I'm going to go here and get rid of my y's using 1 and 2. So 1 and 2, and I'm going to get rid of my y's. So I have 2x minus 3y plus z is equal to 5. And x plus 3y plus 8z is equal to 22. Because these are opposite, I don't have to do anything. I can just add down. 2x and x is 3x. Z and 8z is 9z. And 22 and 5 is 27. I used 1 and 2, so I have to use, 3. 3 says 3x minus y plus 2z is equal to 12. And I have to get rid of y. So I'm going to use, guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to use the top one, so I'll just use 1. Or I'll use the bottom, actually. I'll use the bottom. 2, so I'll use 2. So I have x plus 3y plus 8z is equal to 22. So I have to multiply one of these by something to get it to cancel out. So I'm going to multiply this top one, because I'm still trying to get rid of y. I'm going to multiply the top one by a negative 3. So I'm using, remember, 3 and 2, and I'm going to multiply this one by, what did I say, just by 3. Still getting rid of y. So 3 times 3 is 9x minus 3y, 2 and 3 is 6z, and then I have 12 times 3 is 36. And bringing down 2 is x plus 3y plus 8z is equal to 22. My y's are gone, so I have 9, 10x and 8 and 6, 14 z's is equal to 8, 58. So these are the two that I have to use. So I'm going to call, just for the sake of this video, I'm going to call this A and this equation B. And what would I like to multiply by? I'm going to go multiply this by 10. So I have 30x plus 90z is equal to 270. And then I'm going to take this one and multiply it by a negative 3, because I want this to be 30. So I'm going to go negative 3. So I go negative 30x, 14 times negative 3 is a negative 42z, and then 58 times a negative 3 is a negative 174. X's cancel out, and I have 90 minus 42 is 48 z, and 270 minus 174 gives me a 96. 96 divided by 48 is 2. So z is 2. Now I know what z is. I need to find out what x is. Can you use any of my equations? I'm going to just use this one right here. So I know that 10x plus 14 times z, which is 2, is equal to 58. So I have 10x plus my, put that so that they know that that's next. That's 28 is equal to 58. 10x, subtract, so I got 58 minus 28 is 30. So x is 3. So I have z, I have x, now I need y. So I'm going to use I'll use 3x minus y plus 2z is equal to 12. I know that 3 times 3 minus y plus 2, instead of z I'll do my 2, is equal to 12. So I have 9 and 4. 13. So I have negative y plus 13 is equal to 12. Subtract my 13. Negative y is equal to a negative 1. Divide by negative 1. Y is 1. So my point for this one, I guess I'll write it over here, hopefully, is 3. Y is 1. Z is 2. 3, 1, 2. Yep. All right. I have a few more minutes on this, so hopefully I can get this done. Looking at this, looks like if I add these together, my y's and z's are both going to drop out. So I have 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to use 1 and 2. So I have 4x minus y minus z is equal to 4. Alright, and 2 is 2x plus y plus z is equal to a negative 1. Just the first two equations. Add down. 4 and 2 is 6x. That's gone, that's gone. 4 minus 1 is 3. So x equals 3 divided by 6 is 0.5. I didn't use 3 yet, so I have to use 3. I have 6x minus 3y minus 2z is equal to 3. And I have to either get rid of my y's or z's. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by number 2, and multiply it by, I'll just get rid of my z's, so I'll multiply it by 2. So I have 2 times 2 is 4x plus 2y plus 2z is equal to 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 6x and 4x is 10x. Negative 3y and 2y is negative y. And we have here, this is gone. so that equals 1. So I have x, so I'm going to put it in here. So I have 10 times 0.5 minus y equals 1. So 10 times 0.5 is 5 minus y is equal to 1. Subtract 5 from both sides. So y is 4. And now I need z. So I'll just use this. I need z, so 2x plus y plus z is equal to -1. I'm going to plug these in. So I have 2 times 0.5 plus 4 times plus z is equal to -1. 2 times 0.5 is 1. Plus 4 plus z is equal to -1. That's 5 plus z is equal to -1. Z minus 5 from both sides is equal to -6. So my point is 0.5, x, y is 4, z is -6. Alright, I know it was kind of fast, but hopefully it helped.